one more person. I have to tell you I'm nervous. And I'm a storyteller, and so I first of all want to thank this church for giving us this wonderful space and for all the people who made it possible for us who are shy, for us who are not so shy, to share our talents. And I also want to thank the people who have stayed so long for the last gasp. And the story, I decided a while ago that what I really wanted to do was connect with people. And I thought, as Carol's before me so eloquently expressed, I wanted to tell stories. But the story I want to tell you tonight is not my own, although I'm going to make it my own. So I hope you'll bear with me, and as the saying goes, take what you like and discard the specifics if that throws you off. The story I'm going to tell you takes place 3,000 years ago. And it's at a time, and this is a fictional story, and you can find it in the Apocrypha, but it's at a time, according to the story, where Nebuchadnezzar decided that he wanted to send his troops, many, many troops, out to destroy all the areas that had not fought with him in his holy mission. And I didn't worry about it because I was a widow. My husband, Manasseh, had died 3 years ago in the fields with a heat stroke. And I had taken to seclusion and praying and being pious and not worrying what was happening in the world. However, when 1,200 soldiers and cavalry arrived at the bottom of my town, which was up in the hills, and surrounded all the streams so there was no water, I listened, but I did not take action. But things got so serious because people had nothing to drink. And they finally convened the town leaders and decided they had to surrender. And the leaders said, maybe we should wait 5 days, maybe God will come through for us. The people really didn't want to do that, but they agreed. But I heard it, and for some reason, and I can't tell you what brought this out in me, I got angry. I had never done anything useful or social. I called the leaders to me and I said, I do not want you to surrender. And they said, we have no choice. And I said, but God will come through. And they sort of looked at me strangely, like, who is this? But somehow I got the resources up and I said, I have a plan, and I'm not going to tell you my plan. And I had a plan. And just to tell you briefly, I took off my widow's weeds, and I put on the most seductive dress I could find from my life when I was dating, that I still had, and all my jewelry. And I baked all my own religious foods. I prayed to God for help and to give me strength in my mission. I took my favorite servant maid to go with me, and she was willing to go. I took this big box filled with my foods, and I went with my maid through the gates of the town where none of the men or anyone had dared to go, and all the way down to where the army was. And the men, the soldiers at the outpost, said, what are you doing here, Judith? I said, I'm here to see your leader. I have a plan so that he can win the war. Well, he was entranced, and I was brought right to him. And I wasn't afraid that anyone would kill me or rape me. I don't know why I wasn't. I guess I felt I was protected. And the general came out, and he looked at me, and I could tell he was satisfied. And he said, what do you want? I said, I want to help you, Paula Fernandez. I want to help you in the war, but to do that, I need to have a tent for me and my maid. And I need to go out every night to the streams, and I will hear when the people are going to do some act that will turn God against them, and then you will automatically win the war. Well, Holofernes thought this was pretty attractive, and to have me a few tents away, and he did set me up in the tent, and he said, but we can give you food. I said, I only eat my own food, but I'm happy for your hospitality. And every night, at the crack of dawn, I went out with my handmaiden, and I bathed and prayed for courage. And so they were used to me going out, and they didn't stop me. And on the fourth day, they had a big banquet, and they asked me to come. And I came all alone with 50 men of the top generals, all the people. And they were looking at me, but they knew that Holofernes, the top man, had his eye on me. So as he got drunker, they sort of left us alone. And he was sort of leery, but he was drinking. And he kept drinking and drinking, and I didn't stop him. And as he got drunker and drunker, he lay down on his bed. And when I thought he was really out of it, I took the sword, his own sword, and I cut off his head. You may not believe I had the strength, but I did it. I cut off his head, I put it in the bag with where my food had been. I put the cover back on. I called for my maid who was waiting outside, and I sailed with the bag, with this big box, and no one stopped us. All the way through and out the gates, as I had done every other night, all the way back up the hill. And the people in my town were amazed to see me back. But they didn't believe it when I said I had solved the problem. I said, they are not going to attack our people. And when they didn't believe me, I have to say, with a ham in me, I opened the box and they all fainted, because they knew that was the head of the general. And I told them what to do. I guess I was getting a little bossy. I told them to put the head up on the gate, and the next day they should just start down halfway, and when the other army saw and went to find their general, they'd find him dead, and they would be scared. And that's exactly what happened. And the army of my people went down and was able to be successful. And I am telling you, I had such a parade. People were so excited about this event that one person could turn the tide like that. That one person could have a meaning. And I have to say that, as it said in the story, since that time, or during that time when I was alive, no one attacked my people. And that army, all that army was rooted. And many men asked for my favor, but I decided not to remarry. I freed my maid, and I lived for a long, long time. Thank you.